Hello, everybody.
Good evening.
Hello, Gary Lambert.
Hello, David Gans over there. Over
Somebody wants us
yonder.
to try and do a high five, though.
Let's see. Let's just try that. Yeah.
Nah, forget about
Anyway, uh, we're back and giddy already, and these shows have given us good reason to be giddy, haven't they?
They sure have. Man, what a thing. I have to tell you before we get started that my friend Zulu out in Michigan sent me this t shirt. And on the back, it says, "We still call it Pine Knob, regardless of whatever its corporate name is now." So thank you,
Mm-hmm.
Paul, for sending out the shirt. And I remember it being Pine Knob because I went out there once to interview Joe Walsh 30, 40 years ago or something.
There you go. Well, Joe Walsh won't be turning up tonight, but Dead and Company will, and that's plenty for us. Another great show the other night as they started their Midwestern swing in Cuyahoga Falls, Ohio. And they're in Michigan, where the band has some great history, and looking forward to what they have up their sleeves tonight. We don't get set lists anymore. We know what the last song of the set is going to be, but we are in suspense too. So we've got the wheels turning about what the opener is going to be and what they haven't played in the last few shows and what they haven't broken out on this tour yet. So we'll be following along with you.
I much prefer not knowing. And I also, I mean, I'm not a big fan of the making the predictions thing and all that because the more patterns you recognize, the less surprising it is. So I like to just keep my brain blank and be surprised by what comes. But they're making memorable moments faster than I can cue them up and play them on the radio. Man, this tour has just been so wonderful and so full of brilliant jamming and lovely ensemble vocals and all kinds of stuff. It's just been a delight.
Yeah, and also, you really can't tell what the patterns are quite as much as you used to because they've been switching things around. They've been putting tunes into unusual slots in the set, and that's kind of delightful. We all get taken by surprise a little bit.
I loved it when the Grateful Dead would do something like that, like they'd shove a fire on the mountain in between. I mean, a victim or the crime in the middle of a scarlet fire and things like that. Listen,
Right.
we're schmoozing about the music and all, but we're also here to remind you that if you're getting a free preview on YouTube of this, you're going to see the first song of the Dead and Company set. And Nugs, of course, would like you to buy the stream. And if you do that, you get to see the whole thing, and you have 48 hours to watch the whole thing as many times as you like. So if you join it and buy the thing after it starts, you can rewind to the beginning or restart it from the beginning or whatever. They also have packages that entitle you to the entire tour, which means that if you bought the entire tour package, you can go back and watch all the shows that you haven't seen yet. Each one of them, you have 48 hours to watch once you've started watching it. So, and Gary and I have been raving about the quality of the video and the quality of the audio mixes on these things, and I could hardly be happier. And it's our job here is to turn you onto it and encourage you to buy the feed. We will also be on here on youtube.com/nugsnet during the set break. And tonight we're going to be spending that set break with David Lemieux, the Grateful Dead's vault archivist and legacy manager, the guy who's responsible for Dave's picks and all the wonderful box sets that have been coming out in recent years. And you will then also be offered the opportunity to buy the Nugs feed, in which case, if you do it then, you can still go back and watch the first half.
Right. And Nugs also offers audio subscriptions where you can stream or download a huge library of music, including every show Dead and Company has played since 2016, since their first full year of touring. They played a few shows in 2015, but 2016 was when they really felt like they turned into a band. And but there's also stuff by Pearl Jam and Wilco and Bruce Springsteen and all sorts of amazing artists, a very deep catalog of stuff. And the hits just keep coming. Our employers at SiriusXM now offer a platinum package where you can also get some nugs.net programming as well. So just call us the Synergy Kids.
I like it. And that Springsteen thing, they've been doing things like they recently put out a classic show from Winterland from 1978 that was like a huge, sort of a legendary bootleg tape. And it's finally been made legit and released by nugs.net. I got to say, we've talked with Brad Serling on our other radio show from time to time. And it's a pretty impressive thing how he talked some legendarily controlling organizations into making their archives available. It's been great. It started from our very tape trading oriented culture over here in the Grateful Dead world and the live music oriented culture, but he has brought it out into the greater music industry and gotten other kinds of artists to make their material available the same way. And that's a great achievement for Nugs, and it's sort of a nice validation of our culture of live music freaks, you know?
Yeah, and it's the dream come true for a lot of us, the access to this much music in this quality, having it just land on your computer or on your phone. It's all stuff that seemed like science fiction to us maybe 20 years ago, and now it's an amazing reality. When I was growing up, the comic strip Dick Tracy, he had a two-way wrist radio with which he communicated. Everyone thought, wow, wouldn't it be great to have one of those? And now you have a phone which has all the technology of a room full of computers back in the dawn of the computer age. It's pretty amazing.
There was a time in the 90s when the Grateful Dead were touring, and Dan Healy, the sound guy, proposed that they bring a truck on tour with them that had like a trailer behind it with literally hundreds of high-speed cassette duplicating machines. There was a company in Petaluma, California called Kaba that started making these racks, like 16 cassette duplicators in a pile and stuff. So there was talk of doing that, and they would have the shows, the soundboard tapes would be sold. You could queue up after the show and line up to buy it. And in the time that was being proposed, it was economically unfeasible and probably just a little too far-fetched even for the imaginative people in the Grateful Dead world. But in the ensuing 30 years, the technology has caught up with all of that. And now look, every morning after one of these Dead and Company shows, I fire up my computer, fire up the Nugster app, and download the recording of last night's show so I can revisit it and pull out my favorite parts to play on the radio. It's insane how quickly and how thoroughly and in what quality the material is made available for us.
Indeed, and we should give credit, in between that Dan Healy pipe dream and where we are now, there was the intermediate step, which Rat Dog jumped on very early, of making CDs that you could pick up a half hour after the show. Our friend Mike McGinn, Rat Dog's longtime engineer, was one of the innovators of that. And they had this incredible assembly line going on backstage with high-speed CD burners, and they were stuffing the envelopes with 3 CDs of every show. And you buy a wristband before the show, and then you went out to the lobby and waited for a while. And about half hour after, you had the show. Now it's even easier than that, thanks to Nugs and other pioneers in the field.
I just realized you could be on tour and download the show to your phone the next morning and listen to it on your way. Like people could download tonight's show to their phones and listen to it on their way to Cincinnati tomorrow if that's where they're going. It's nice that we're blabbing about nugs.net here on nugs.net. And once again, if you're watching this free preview on YouTube, please do visit livedead.co, where you can sign up to buy the stream, look at the packages for the whole tour, look for your subscription packages that give you access to the whole Nugs library and all that stuff. livedead.co is the link for that. Also, nugs.net works, but I think that the one of choice is livedead.co for your audio and video streaming and downloading options.
That's right. And of course, in just a few minutes, and of course, few is a very relative thing in this universe, but in just a few minutes, Dead and Company will be taking the stage. We haven't gotten any official word. We get these sporadic reports, and we have 3 band members on stage. We have 4 band members. They're huddling. We're waiting for the house lights. Except a couple of nights ago, was it the last show or the one before that? They just walked right out on stage, and we had about maybe a
That
minute
was
and a half to
great.
fill. Lights.
And now
Wait,
the lights
I
are
made it.
down. So
I made it so.
you did. Thank you
See
so
it.
much. We'll be back at set break time with David Lemieux, people. So come back and join us. It's going to be a good time. Please enjoy the hell out of the set you're about to watch.
The picture of you. See the pal, get to know you like her. See you like the least I can do. Cause when he's charging his chopper up and down your carpeted halls, you'll think he'd by contrast quite proper. Never mind, I stumble and fall. Oh, never mind, I stumble and fall. Sipping champagne from the boom for a taste of your elegant pride. Baby, going to hell in a bucket, baby, but at least I'm enjoying the ride. At least I'm enjoying the ride. Yeah, at least I'm enjoying the ride. enjoying the ride. He's done enjoying the ride. Yeah, he's done enjoying the ride. Realize me, despise me near loud. I stumble and fall. There may come a day I will dance on the grave. If unable to dance, I'll still crawl across it. If unable to dance, I'll still crawl. Yeah, unable to dance, I'll crawl. Yeah. You must really consider the circus. Well, it just might be your kind of zoo. I can't think of a place that's more perfect for a person as perfect as you. And it's not like I'm leaving lonely, 'cause I wouldn't know where to begin. But I know that you'll think of me only when the snakes come marching in. Yeah, when the snakes come marching in. After you sipping champagne from a boot for a taste of your elegant pie. Maybe going to hell in a bucket, babe. At least I'm enjoying the ride.